What's up? Welcome back. I'm John Stark from MacMovieGuy.com. If you're a blind film critic, and today we're doing another Black Mirror review. It's Black Mirror Season 4, Episode 4, Hang the DJ. Sort of makes sense. Uh, okay. Black Mirror is I've been doing this, check out all the other episodes leading up to this. I'd never seen Black Mirror before. I'm just going through it. This has audio description. This one had a weird thing. I can't remember how it was phrased, but there was a weird sort of glitch where it felt like a word was missing, where you would put like you say like the escalator, but instead you just said like escalator. So there was a thing where he was writing near escalator, I think, and instead of it's like riding down escalator or near escalator or something. There was something where it like you put the there, and I was like, huh, that's weird. But so that's my critique of the audio description track. I think there was a word missing, but it's not, I don't think too many people would stumble over that, and I don't think it's going to ruin your day. What is this episode about? Two people, a guy and a girl, played uh, by I didn't actually know who they were, but I checked the credits. I was like, I don't know who these people are. Not gonna remember the names. I think maybe one of them is Joe Cole, the guy. I don't know who that is. Uh, I think I remembered it because of Joe Coy, the comedian. No, that doesn't sound like him. So uh, yeah, it's two people who keep going out. They first of all they show up on a date, and we don't know anything about it. And they look at this little thing, and the date says how long that they have together, and it's 12 hours. And apparently, in the future, we have like a dating service that sends us on dates until we find our match, and then we get to go about our lives. And what was just so interesting about this was the passage of time, right? And until the end of this, when everything was done, I was sitting there thinking, does anybody work? I mean, their whole lives are dedicated to dating. Like they have nothing else to do. They don't even live anywhere. They get like in between because they have these like love shacks, as the audio description likes to call them. Um, and so when they're given a certain amount of time, they get to go to this love shack, which is like their temporary home for whatever the duration of time is. And then they, for some reason, every time have sex. Um, Whether you have chemistry with somebody or not, you just decide to have sex apparently. So why not? So when in Rome, but they're not. So uh, the first couple has sex and they seem to have some chemistry, but unfortunately 12 hours is up and they have to part ways. And then we go through like a montage of she gets like a whole bunch of like fast. She gets like one that's like for 9 months, and then after that, it's a whole bunch of like 36-hour dates. And then he gets one that's for a year, and he's miserable, and they're like not compatible, and they're stuck together for a full year. And even the 9 months for her, like at the beginning was great, and then by the end of it, it's like, well, bye, Felicia. So after having, failed a bunch of times, they end up dating again, and they're like so happy to see each other. And they date again, and this time they don't look at the time. They don't want to know what the time is. So everything's going great, swimmingly, and they're in love, obviously, and they're well matched. Until one day when he decides to look at the how much time they have left, which ruins everything because they had 5 years, and then suddenly it shrunk down to like like a day. So so she finds out and she's mad, and they end up parting ways, and so like their future was ruined. I was like, 5 years? Shouldn't it have been like more? Wouldn't it have been funny to just see, because then it suggests that this isn't even like a lifetime match, because 5 years is not a lifetime anyway. But that was my one little catch with the script, was why was it even 5 years? Shouldn't it have been like indefinite? So they part ways, and then she gets her final match, and she's given an opportunity to have closure with one person, and so she chooses this guy because she still misses him, and she sees him, and they decide, to leave this facility and go over the wall. They don't remember anything else. They don't remember anything before. They're realizing that they have like memory gaps. So like, I don't know what's over the wall, but I want to go over the wall with you. I guess they're in a community with a wall and they have to go over it. So they climb an actual ladder and go over a wall, and then they wake up and there's an ad for like, out of 1,000 matches, like 998 of them or something like that have resulted in people abandoning and going over the wall as a couple. Like, that's the test or whatever. And then it shows the two of them outside of this simulation, and they're smiling at each other, and I guess they hook up, and life is good because they found each other inside of the simulation. So it's a simulation, which is why nobody ever works. Oh god. Anyway, so that was pretty easy to get through because this plot is actually fairly simple, but it's really good. For Black Mirror, this is exactly what they need to be doing. Would I do it? Yeah, sure, especially if I know it's a simulation. I mean, if because I was thinking about like time passing, I was like, it's a lot of time. But if time isn't really passing, because they're just sort of sitting in a bar when they wake up. So if it feels like, if it's one of those things where it's sort of like when you dream and you feel like you're accomplishing all these things, but really like you wake up and it's been like an hour, but you're like, but I just went on this adventure, you know, where like time is relative, then sure, yeah, I would definitely do that. But if I had to like vegetate for like 5 years in some sort of weird thing where I was like trying to find like a compatible match, I'd be like, that's 5 years of my life where I'm just trapped in a simulation. No. But the way I interpreted it as they were in some sort of simulation, not for the same length of time, it was just like how they felt it. So yeah, I would say sure. Ask myself that. Do I think this could happen? uh, sure. I don't know that it would happen exactly this way. I think it's an interesting thing for sure. I think with the way that we are with VR headsets, right? I think that's the next step, is being able to virtually date people. I think that's happening soon because we have all these headsets. So I think people are going to be able to go out on dates by putting on a headset, and then you'll be able to meet somebody without ever actually meeting them. So, and it'll cut down on time. I think that's probably the next evolution of dating beyond the apps, is going to be somebody's going to figure out how to do that within the context of putting on a headset. So sure, I feel like we're going to evolve in this fashion. So, I like the episode. I don't know that there's any deep moral quandaries here. I think this is a pretty safe Black Mirror episode. It just kind of throws it right down the middle and tells you, this is what we are. This is what we're doing. There isn't some deep, like, oh my God, did the world end because of these life choices? No, this was a pretty easily accessible and relatable for people. So I think this is a solid episode. I think Black Mirror certainly has had better episodes, but just more challenging, better directed, whatever, thrilling. I don't know, whatever you can say, but it's a good episode for Black Mirror. I like it. I'm gonna give Hang the DJ a B+. That was good. It's good. Check it out if you haven't seen it. It's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just it feels like somehow less consequential than some of the other ones, which have had larger implications to the things that they're talking about. So anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the other side.